Have you ever heard the saying, mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent? Well, it's a saying that holds true now more than ever. Do you remember last year in North Carolina, a young innocent Ukrainian girl was on the light rail, heading home from work, chilling, minding her business on her phone, when a man behind her stabs her in the neck. She bleeds out. People around her just look. As he's walking off, he says, "I got that white girl," so it's clearly racially motivated. Do you remember that Decarlos Brown, the name of the killer, has multiple repeat arrests for assault? Everything bad, not a good person, and mentally ill. We knew that, but progressive judges gave him second, third, fourth, over a dozen chances to put himself in a situation where he's around innocent people. Do you remember that? Do you remember these progressive judges doing this all around the country to multiple, a dozen, hundreds of people with prior arrests who end up going and harming, killing innocent civilians? Well, that happened just last year. Well, that same person, Decarlos Brown Jr., was just evaluated from a hospital, and he was determined not competent to stand trial. So he's going to get a slap on the wrist. People are just going to throw their hands up and say, well, he's mentally ill. This is what happened. People are going to try to feel bad for him. They're going to say that the system failed him, even though the system had him arrested over a dozen times. They should have locked him up a while ago, kept him away from innocent people. You see, people always use this excuse as mental illness and prison reform, this and that. I get it, all right? I get it, the prison system is messed up. I get the mental health system in America is messed up. But judges have a duty. Police have a duty. Everybody in government has a duty to keep the civilians protected. If somebody is mentally ill, get them the help they need, but keep them away when they're mentally ill in this situation, right? When they're harming people. Okay, everybody deals with mental illness, anxiety, depression. We all deal with that. But when somebody's dealing with a mental illness like this man was dealing with, keep them away from innocent people, okay? The blame really goes on these judges. You have a duty to protect the civilians. I don't care if somebody's mentally ill. If they have prior arrest, they're known as a dangerous man who can harm people. Keep them off the streets. You have a duty to do that. Nobody with over a dozen prior arrests, a lot of them relating to assault, should be walking free. It should not be the case at all. Stuff like this has been happening all around the country for the past few years now. These progressive judges are really dangerous. They're a harm to society. We need to hold them accountable. Who's going to hold them accountable? Well, the voters. They don't really hold them accountable, so you're going to keep seeing this in these inner cities, these blue Democrat cities. Just in a week, we're going to see this man not competent to stand trial. In the same week, we just saw the other day, U.S. Marine killed in stabbing during North Carolina street brawl. Now, if you watch that video, which I really don't recommend, gets stabbed in the neck, handful of police around him, they're taking their time, putting their gloves on, do nothing while the guy's bleeding out of his neck and dies, okay? Take a picture of the guy who did the stabbing. All right, don't know what happened, don't know why it happened, but nobody should get stabbed to death. When someone's fighting, you should not just stab somebody in the neck. That's a coward move. All right, when you're agreeing to fight each other, stabbing somebody in the neck is a coward move. But this is another situation where not many news articles, not many news websites are covering this situation. We know how it always goes. Okay, and then another situation in Chicago, a dad of two, while expecting his second child, was beaten to death outside a bar in Chicago. And these were the four people of interest. So you have to ask yourself, why is this happening, right? Why are these people, innocent people, just getting beaten to death, getting stabbed to death? And we're seeing cases like this all the time. Let's look at another situation with illegal immigrant. Last week, an illegal Haiti man walks up to a gas station, a lady just standing there. The video is also available. Wouldn't recommend watching, but if you really need to see the truth, go ahead and watch it. Simply smashes her in the head. She falls back, laying there, innocent, and he just keeps pounding on her. It was a disgusting video. An illegal immigrant from Haiti. This is a huge situation as well with illegal immigration. We saw this going back for years. Illegal immigrants killing, harming innocent Americans. Why was this man in this country, right? I mean, why is this happening? We need to address this issue. Democrats don't want to address this issue. Big media does not want to address this issue. It's a serious problem. You could say that, yes, Americans, legal Americans commit crimes. That's definitely a problem. We should be focusing on just us Americans. We shouldn't have to worry about more additional crime spilling over from illegal immigrants. It should not be happening. We have to ask ourselves why. Why is this all happening? Why are these progressive judges letting out these people? Why are these progressive judges giving people this free pass? Why are these democratic cities just letting these people walk around, right? Why is this happening? Who knows? Why is the media not covering this as much when in these certain situations? Who knows? Maybe we do know. Maybe it won't get as much as a reaction as other situations. But that's how it is in America. It's a serious problem. I mean that. Once a week, we're seeing something. I post on this channel, I post a lot of shorts, over a dozen videos I made so far, totally separate from what I posted here, of innocent people just getting killed by wackos. 9 times out of 10, they're repeat offenders. It's a serious issue. It's a serious issue. I wish Trump and his administration started focusing more on it. Stop focusing on the wars abroad and people abroad and start focusing on people in our country. It'd be really nice, but I know that's too hard to ask nowadays.